The International Trade Administration has dedicated the month of October to manufacturing, and across the Finger Lakes Workforce Development Center specializes in training the next generations of workers in those fields. 13 Wham's Chris Lopez is live at the downtown campus of MCC this morning, learning a thing or two himself about this field. Hey, Lopez, what's going on?
Hey, good morning, Dan. Yeah, so we're in the virtual reality room, and either right now or just right before we went on, some of the students here are working on different things, right? Virtual things. So you can virtually be a car mechanic, you can virtually be a doctor, you can virtually work inside a safety center. Pretty cool here, and you guys are going to be able to see that within the next minute or so, these students working on it. I have Heidi right now. You are in charge of essentially the curriculum here.
Yes, I am.
What do you guys teach?
So the Ford Center was created to fast-track students into the workforce, and so what we have is programs that we've actually had conversations with our industry partners about, what they would like in terms of specific skills for certain jobs. So a lot of our programs are actually created by job names. So we have the process control technician, which has process control trainers that they use. We have the control system specialist, which is electrical, and then also has the PLCs, the programmable logic controllers. And then from there, we continually make more programs based on the specific jobs. And these are new jobs. These jobs haven't been around. So when you hear the name, it's not necessarily recognizable, but it does allow a person to come here and upskill or get a new career, and then they can go out into the workforce and they can find jobs in our local area with our manufacturers for a higher paying job.
Thank you so much this morning. I'm going to head over here to Siva. Now, we were talking a little bit earlier. Ton of jobs, not enough people to fill those jobs.
That's right.
That's what you guys are in charge of, right?
Yeah. So yeah, part of the problem is, there's lots of jobs and we have lots of training programs. Every college year is invested. We got tons of programs like Heidi talked about, teaching you mechatronics, skill trades, etc., but not enough students. Where are these students going to come from? So what we are working here is really creating that pipeline. So this is a career exploration lab, just one of the investments that we made, where students can come in, they can try various different careers. It allows them to do two things. One, they go up a cell phone tower, they're afraid of heights,
Okay.
They don't want to do it. Or they try a knee surgery and they say, hey, this is what I want to do. So they can try both, and they can pick what they like, and if they like something, they can come back here for training. So that's the idea of this lab. We have various different career options here, but it goes one step further. Once you kind of get attracted to a particular career path, we can actually build skills using the same technology. So so you get trained on this virtual equipment, you get the skills, and then we put you on the real floor. So now you're safe, you know the concepts, and good to go.
I like it, and the virtual reality, guys, pretty cool. Delved into it a little bit, and like Siva said, if you're afraid of heights and it's not for you, you don't have to climb up all the way on top of a building to figure that out. You can do it virtually. Stay tuned. We're going to be here exploring all of the different careers, talking to faculty, talking to students. Not going to want to miss it. Back to you guys in studio.
All right, Chris Lopez out there for us live, learning a lot. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Or you can have it
right
now,
after this. Thank you, Mark. October is Manufacturing Month, and it's dedicated to inspiring U.S. manufacturers to pursue further growth globally. In the Rochester region, the Finger Lakes Workforce Development Center is training people to become technical skilled workers. We head over to our Chris Lopez, who is live at MCC's downtown campus, learning some more. Hey there, Chris, what you got for us?
Hey, good morning, Steph. Yeah, so trying to learn more is the key here. Breaking it down Barney style, like my good friend John over here is a program coordinator. Now, I'm going around at some of these systems, and it's well over my head. Even when you guys are trying to break it down Barney style for me, it's still going over my head. But this program, from what I'm understanding, is for anyone and everyone.
Correct. Yeah, anybody we get from incumbent workers to anybody who's wanting a change in their lifestyle or a change in job can come on down and learn new trades.
Yeah, like Ryan down there we're about to talk to in maybe a minute or so. He's from Home Depot, and he's training on some of this stuff that looks absolutely crazy. And let's say someone's watching this and they're seeing these workers work on these boards here, and it looks incredibly complicated. What would you tell those people?
It's not. I mean, like I said, breaking it down Barney style, we come in, we first start off with web-based training. It breaks everything down to its simplest form. Once we get the understanding, we come out to our hands-on skills and start learning with our hardware trainers.
And when it comes to some of these systems here, I'm seeing analytic process control system, pressure process control system. Can you help me understand some of this? Because this is the curriculum that the students are learning, right?
Correct. So with this trainers, it's pretty much getting your fluids or product to move. Over here we can control our levels via manual control or automatic control. Same thing with controlling our pressures and also our thermals. Pretty much with the our end trainer, we tell the students you're heating up and cooling down using a refrigerant and a thermal heater.
Yeah, can you take me over to this?
Correct.
And explain some of this over here?
So what the students will do here is they'll take the water, they'll run it through our chiller, which will bring the temperature down to roughly 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we'll send it up to our other process tank to where they'll actually heat it back up to a temperature of 140 degrees Fahrenheit and run it through the process of constant heating and cooling of the system for heat exchange.
And how long would it take, let's say, me to learn some of this?
I could have you doing it in about 2 or 3 days.
2 or 3 days,
Correct.
all of this?
Correct.
I dig it. I'm going to move over here to Ryan, who is one of the students underneath John. Now, you worked at Home Depot, and you've been here for about a month doing this.
Yeah.
And this is one of the more complex control systems here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good learning station here. Right here, I have wired a pretty basic schematic of the motor control system. So when you look at this, there's 2 parts to it. There's the actual motor control, so we're actually hooking up power to it, and just below that is the control, so pretty much controlling when we want to run the motor on and off. And all we have to do is just press this push button right here, and it's going to move the motor in the forward position. So it's just as basic as turn off the power supply, switching over to another switch. This is a selector switch. All you have to do is turn the knob, and when we turn that on, that's the off position, that's run.
Okay, and what made you want to do this? This is quite a change.
Yeah, I mean, I know you probably heard already, a lot of industries are switching over to automation. Manufacturing is definitely a big one. In the world, in the United States, only way we could compete with countries who have like lower labor costs is automation. And I figured there needs to be someone to work on the automation when it doesn't work. And I said, why not me? I like working with my hands, like problem solving and technology.
And how's it been so far? What's the atmosphere like over here?
It's been awesome. I mean, the instructor, John, and my classmates are really helpful with me. Some of them had prior experience, and they're like really helpful when I'm learning all this stuff.
Me too, man. Me and you both. I'm going to be talking to more faculty throughout the morning, my good friend John over here, as well as some more students. Stay tuned. Back to you in studio, Steph.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much, Chris.
And welcome back, everyone. The International Trade Administration has dedicated the month of October to manufacturing.
Yeah, the Finger Lakes Workforce Development Center specializes in training the next generation of technical skilled workers to contribute to U.S. manufacturing. 13 Wham's Chris Lopez is live with the FWD at MCC's downtown campus today, learning more about the program. Hey, Christopher.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yes, so I was trying to learn more a little bit earlier. Now something finally clicked. And this is the basics of AC, DC electrical systems. And this is a series circuit versus a, what's it called? Fill in the blank. I forgot.
Parallel circuit.
Parallel
which
circuit.
is over there.
And when it comes to everyday life, John, Christmas lights, right?
Correct.
That's like a really good analogy for this. Can you explain this while they go through it?
So back in the day, a lot of Christmas lights were wired in series. That way you have a strand of, say, 25 lights. If one light that is, say, 15 down goes out, it blows out the whole strand.
And that's your series. This is not, okay, series, and this is all class curriculum, right?
Correct. And then now the way they're doing it now is in parallel, which we'll show you here after we show the series circuit. And that goes, if you have one bulb that goes out down the line, all the other bulbs will still stay lit.
So series circuit, it's just if one man goes down, the entire troop goes down, all right?
Everything on that line is killed.
And that's going to be, I don't believe Christmas lights do that anymore, right?
Nope,
That's
correct.
And then I want to go over here, and this is your parallel circuit over here.
Correct. So
And
this will
explain
show
this
you
difference.
as we'll turn the lights on. Now your Christmas lights are on.
Okay.
If we go and knock one of those bulbs out, all the other bulbs will stay on.
Why would someone want to use series versus the parallel if one man goes down in the series versus the parallel has all of the troops going to still stay up?
We really don't anymore.
No.
We've definitely modernized in that aspect with putting more things in parallel. Yeah, it just makes more sense to run things in parallel now.
And this is the basics right here, AC/DC electrical systems. How long does it take for, let's say, anyone to learn this?
I say roughly 2-3 weeks tops.
What is that class curriculum looking like from day one until they start to pick this up?
So day one, they come in, they learn the basics of electricity, electrical safety, hazards, looking out for those. Then we start getting into basic electrical measurements, learning how to measure circuits with digital multimeters, moving all the way up into learning how transformers work, on stepping down electrical circuits or stepping them up. And then from there, we look into capacitors and inductors and a good range of everything for your basics of electrical.
And I want to keep reiterating this. Anyone can learn this.
Correct.
Anyone.
100%.
Me. Right?
Anybody, yes.
I appreciate the confidence. I want to walk over to one of his students, or his ex-students. This is Eric. Now, he is former student, graduated. Now he's going to be teaching a little bit later. Now, this is, I kind of understand the AC/DC. What's going on here?
So this is an example on a smaller scale of an automated process system in manufacturing. We have here is FANUC robots. They're operated by sensors, inputs, outputs. This right here, this teach pendant, is how we program the robot. We would put a language inside of that. It tells the robot what to do. And then we come down here. The PLC is basically a program logic controller.
There we go.
It's a small computer that operates all these sensors, and it communicates with the robot, with the teach pendant, and pretty much everything you see going on comes from that. And the sensors, every time something passes in front of it, it sends a message to the PLC. It tells this robot to operate, and then that robot communicates back to the PLC, program logic controller, and tells the next robot to operate.
And how long did it take you to learn this?
So I started back in September and graduated in June. I got 9 certifications on the different mechanisms in here.
Yeah.
Program logical controller, that was a separate certification. The FANUC robot, where I learned how to program from the teach pendant and jog, safety, all that stuff. About 9 months.
9 months? Was it hard?
There was moments it was challenging, but the instructors are very great. There's a lot of hands-on experience, they're working with you one-on-one. The classes are pretty small. You get enough attention. It's not overwhelming at all. They will slow it down for you and teach you as you go. If there's any questions.
And you guys have done a great job of that this morning, really slowing stuff down for me, especially with the AC/DC currents. We're going to be here for one more hit, talking to more students, talking to faculty about what they learned. Back to you guys.
I got for Chris a quick question. You know, Dan is trying to wire up a thermostat right now. When you come back, he's going to need a little help with that.
Yeah, can you recruit somebody?
I got you, Dan. I got you. Don't worry about it.
Okay, all right, sounds good. I appreciate it.
Yes, I can. Oh yeah.
All right, thank you, sir. 8:37, and in your community, October is Manufacturing Month, and it's dedicated to inspiring U.S. manufacturers to pursue further growth globally.
The Finger Lakes Workforce Development Center trains people to become technically skilled workers, and our Chris Lopez is live with FWD at the MCC downtown campus talking to faculty and students. Hey, Chris.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, just getting a ton of analogies this morning to try and absorb whatever I can. And I have another analogy right here when it comes to series versus, and I keep parallel versus parallel. Now, you brought to me how this is working via like a water flow.
Yep, you could use that as an analogy as well. So you could think of the power console as a water tank, and the wires that are flowing through each of these components as hoses. So all we're going to do,
plug that hose in.
Yep.
Here's series, right? This is series?
This is series because electricity is flowing in one direction here. So if I was to turn this off and disconnect this,
water stops flowing.
Yep, because the path has been broken that leads to the power source back to it from the positive terminal to the negative terminal.
I like it. I like the analogy. Is that how you teach, John?
Correct.
More analogies. You try and kind of break it down stupid, simple, essentially, right?
Correct. We like to break it down Barney style. An analogy I used when I was in the military. It just makes it easier for the students to learn. And as you can see, that's one of the best ways I think a lot of the students are learning.
Do you ever get students where it's just really hard to get that? Like it would pretty much me, where it's really hard to get it through my head, some of these concepts. And then how do you go about teaching them?
Correct. What I do is I'll take the student out, I'll ask them, how do they like learning? Is it more hands-on? Is it more on the computer? What tools do they use in the past to help learn? And then we'll build off of that. Just building towards that student's way of learning.
And then over here, parallel.
Correct.
Another basic.
So as Ryan was explaining earlier, the flow of water. So with the parallel versus series circuits, we have our water flow the same way, but now we have our water flow or electrical supply to each individual output. So if we are to lose power at an out or an output, we don't lose power to the whole circuit. That way we still have power to each individual parallel branch.
And this concept here, this can be applied to Christmas lights, pretty much anything. You can learn this and apply it not to just your Christmas lights, but what else can you apply it to?
If you go to any store nowadays, you look up at the lights, a lot of the lights are lit like that. It saves on maintenance, it saves on costs, because also now you don't have to go to each individual light. You can troubleshoot a whole bank of lights.
I love it. I love it. And how long does a class take for you, a regular traditional class?
So roughly 3 to 4 months.
3 to 4 months. And from the AC/DC currents over here to the robotics class, I have a robotics instructor with me. Now, first of all, what are we looking at over here? Can you break this down for us, please?
Yeah, so what these are is there are universal robots, and what it's doing right now is palletizing and depalletizing. So you can imagine that, like, if you were in a big warehouse or something like that, it would be picking up boxes, placing them to be wrapped, and then if you got a shipment in, it would do the opposite. It would take them off of the pallet and put them wherever you decide to put them.
And how easy is this to learn for someone? Another example, just like me, very ignorant to this stuff.
I would say it's pretty simple. When I actually got certified to teach this class, I had never touched a robot before. And now I'm an instructor, so it's actually pretty simple. The class is only 32 hours, so you can get it done in less than a month, depending on, you know, how long your class is, how much time you dedicate, things like that. And all we really want to know or see is if you've got the hang of it. No real big tests or anything like that. You do have to take a test to get certified. But mostly I just want to see if you've retained anything that I've said.
And how does someone find out more? If they're watching this, they want to take some of these classes. Do you know where they can go to sign up?
Yeah, so if you go to the Forward Center website, it'll list all of our class offerings. I believe there's a class offering for this one coming up as well in November. So if anyone's interested in that.
And all inexpensive stuff. I was cruising through that website. You're looking at like $2,000 for an education in this stuff. All high demand, well-paying jobs. College degrees last time I checked, you're looking at like 48 to 50-something thousand bucks. Pretty good bang for your buck here. All interesting stuff. I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio. Thank you for having me this morning.
All right, Chris Lopez out there for us live. Thank you, sir.
Just fascinating stuff.
It really is.